you've probably heard it all.
That's where they PayPal.
And for anybody that's been in our industry for less than a minute, you've probably all asked these three gentlemen these questions, and you've heard some of this tonight. So, Dick, at what point will Mustang Sally be sent tonight? Hey, Mike, is Tennessee still a tax-free state with financial surplus thanks to the Republican Party?
Who was that name in the beginning?
And then this is my absolute favorite because I've dealt with it personally. Hey, T, which is Tony, is today an eating day or a non-eating day? Experience has a handy piece of information that it's a drinking day.
Let him know.
Which is every day for tea.
That's what they
Here's
want.
an example of a non-eating day involving a drinking day.
Yeah, we can do that.
If you look at this slide, I'll describe it.
Just take a
Upper
picture
left, we were playing golf in the Moran tournament.
of them
T's
three
back
together.
started to hurt. So Rob Berthold says, hey, I'm going to put my hands on my knees, lay over my back, and stretch it out. To which Tony decides to mount him from behind. Yeah, that was not right, T. Rob pushes him around. Finally, Tony gets on his back. And in the last picture, Tony falls asleep in the middle of the ground. That's a non-eating/drinking day. John, if you would come up. And I thought we were there with Moran. You really need to raise your bar a little, or you'll be changing the name of this event to the Hall of Shame. With that said, I'll give you Mr. John Moran.
Okay, you folks in the back, can you hear me all right? I'm sure you're thrilled. Hopefully not. For those of you that know my wife, Sue, please don't tell her I'm back on the gin. She'll tell me. She made me give it up, and I won't drink it again. This is water.
If you can.
I won't drink it again. I told her until the unlikely event she passes away before I do. Scotty, thanks for that introduction. It's plain to see that things are going a lot more smoothly here at MDSI since you finally convinced Taylor to retire. Congratulations on that. All right, it's nice to be back here, my old home turf, Chicago, Illinois. I got a quick question for you about the state of Illinois. You ready? This is a trivia question. You all set? What do former governors Kerner, Walker, Ryan, and Blagojevich all have in common? They all went to the Slammer. Two of them still live there. They're happy there. They're comfortable there. That's why there's a saying here in Chicago, my old hometown, about the great state of Illinois. They'll tell you the great state of Illinois, where our governors make our license plates. I want to congratulate Victor and Patrick, and also both award winners here tonight. Dick and Mike, congratulations. How about a hand for these two old times? All right, my job is to honor Tony Melaro tonight. Tony is a little nervous. A lot of applause for Dick and Mike. There was none for you whatsoever. We're in a little trouble. Now, a lot of you know Tony pretty well. A lot of you. And I think I might know him as well as just about anybody, and I think I can prove it. Tony, I've done a little back of the envelope mathematics. Can we have just a little? Can we tone it down in the back, fellas? I'm an old guy. Thank you. I've done a little back of the envelope math. You ready for this? I know how good you were at math. Tony and I, through the years, through the decades, have done over 1,000 skits together. Pathetic. And the nice thing about that is Tony changed them up every single time. I had no idea what he was doing. We've made over 600 customer visits together, individual customer visits together, and we have spent over 900 nights, well, I should say days, and nights together in the field. That's a lot of time. It's awful. And Tony, you know, you get to know somebody in the field better than you do in the office, their strengths, their weaknesses. And I have to tell you something, Tony, from the bottom of my heart, and I'm saying it in front of all these nice people. And I've never said this to you before, but I mean this sincerely. After all the time we travel together, you make me sick, Tony. You're so annoying. All right, a lot of you have a lot of stories about Tony. You should come up here and probably tell better stories than I can, but we do not have the time. I want to tell you two quick stories that are both, as Denny Mon would say, 100% true. Trust me on this. One was the story on how he was hired, and some of you know this story a little bit. I'm going to give you the straight story. Back in 1979, our Vice President of Sales, Executive Vice President of Company, George Blowers, many of you remember George, he was a legend, was retiring after decades of service to Welsh Allen. And he and his wife had picked out a retirement spot in Asheville, North Carolina. And he was moving from his home in Marcellus, New York to Asheville. And George was thrifty, believe me. And this was on his dime, not Welsh Allen's. He was retiring. So he shopped around very smartly for a moving company, and he picked one out of Buffalo, New York, 2 hours away. The price was right, apparently. And sure enough, at 8:30 on this early November day, 1979, a truck rolled in right on time to George's driveway, and the owner of this little moving company was at the wheel. His name was Mr. Vincent Melaro, Tony's uncle. Or as the guys in the outfit in South Buffalo called him, Vinny. Next to Vinny was another older Italian gentleman whose name I don't know. That was the moving company. In the back seat was a young man who had just started with the moving company, Tony. His first career job. Fresh out of Potsdam State College in upstate New York. Very proud of his 2.2 grade point average. And he majored in basketball. He had no earthly idea what he was going to do the rest of his life, so he was with Uncle Vinny's moving company. So let me tell you how the day briefly went. It started out as usual, and if you've done this kind of work, you know it's pretty tough. And they're moving boxes, and they're coming into the house and out of the house, carrying boxes and furniture. It's tough and it's tedious. Well, George was watching all this because he was paying for it. And he noticed on 3 occasions that morning, the young man who had gotten somewhat bored would go off on his own as these older Italian men would go into the house. He'd go off on his own over off the sidewalk, and he would imitate the two of them.
It's okay.
For his own enjoyment. And he had their motions and their hand and the way they talked, and he also had their voices down. That's right, he had a conversation with himself. This is true. George thought this was quite interesting. And he hopped on the van, or the moving truck, and talked to Tony throughout the afternoon off and on. Found him strange. But he liked it. And we had a territory open in Houston, Texas at the time. And at the end of the day, George said, look, I'm going to call Lauren Elder, the national sales manager at Welsh Allen, and if you want to move to Houston and have a new start on a career in medical sales, I'm going to recommend you very strongly. I'm sure he'll hire you. By the way, the money's going to be same to start as it is with the moving company, which will be fine. And honest to God, Tony Melaro, after over 1,000 skits later, can thank his first opportunity with Welsh Allen, where he stayed for 40 years, to his first skit, which he did for himself. Tony, I have to tell you, George stayed on and helped us in the Latin business for a number of years in his retirement. And he still has to give a lot of talks, and I can remember, and you'll be proud of this, I can remember on many occasions he'd say, hiring Tony Melaro, my last act at Welsh Allen, was the biggest single mistake I've ever made in my life. I want to tell you one more quick story about Tony. You know, all the skits and all that, we don't have time to get into, but it was a lot of fun. I have to be honest with you, this Dr. Ben thing, which, you know, he's associated with, and I know a lot of you have seen the Dr. Ben skits, Tony's like one person with Dr. Ben. After 10 years of doing these, you know, you go to a distributor sales meeting, you do 40 over 3 days. He hated Dr. Ben. In fact, you hated the whole Over family. What was the wife's name? Eileen Over. You couldn't stand her, right? How about the daughter? She was very spoiled. Carrie Over. What a nightmare. And that young Chinese lad that you adopted. Hungover. He was You get the picture. You'd be tired of it too. So he developed a skit. This was his best skit ever, where he would kill off Dr. Ben. This is true. And it was called Dr. Ben Missing in Action. Let me tell you briefly what he did. It was brilliant. And these were skits we're rolling out at the major distributor meetings, plus the independent group meetings. You know, so there's like 5 or 6 of them coming up. We're going to do hundreds of these things. We are really looking forward to it. And so we're going to roll it out. This was the theme. Dr. Ben Missing in Action. Here's what happened. He puts me out there giving news bulletins about Dr. Ben's plane going down. Dr. Ben had been in Scanning Atlas advising Welch Allen on some rectal instruments, of course. A little famous proctologist. And he had his own private plane. He was doing pretty well. And he was flying from Scanning Atlas after the meeting back to his home in Kansas. You all remember where he lived. Take a peek at Kansas, absolutely. Where else would he live? So the plane goes down over Cleveland on the way back, over Lake Erie. And I'm shouting these bulletins out to these distributor reps at the meeting. They look at me like I'm crazy. What's wrong? Dr. Ben's missing in action. He might be dead. Well, Tony has to make an appearance on the stage. He's the main star. He can't come out as Dr. Ben. So he comes out as a character he used to entertain us with in Welch Allen sales meetings years ago, and was Father Guido Sarducci. And he still had his old Guido outfit. He had the cassock with the collar, the wide brim hat. Comes out, he's got a cigarette going like this, like Guido did, the Italian-American accent. And he talks about Dr. Ben, his good friend, and he conducts a funeral mass during the skit for Dr. Ben. Oh yeah, I know you and I are going to hell for that funeral mass. So we basically kill him off at the skit, or at least there's a lot of doubt whether he'll ever come back. We're pretty happy with ourselves. The blowback we got from the distributor rep community was so strong as we went through these series of meetings that we had no other choice, regrettably, but to bring Dr. Ben back for another 8 years. It's true. So we attributed his comeback, they found him in Lake Erie, or we made something up the next year, to a miracle during the Mass from Father Guido Sarducci. So, our thanks to him. There's a lot of people here from Welch Allen, Tony, who come up and tell a lot of stories, but that we don't have time for that. But I would ask the folks from Welch Allen to do me a favor and stand for a moment, if you would. Am I going too fast for you guys? All right, now. There's a lot of you here. Who the hell's paying for all this? Now, keep standing, because we're going to give a little tribute. Whenever somebody does something spectacular at Welch Allen, or gets a big award like this, we have a little tribute. It's a tearjerker. I want to warn you, this is an emotional deal. It's only 30 seconds, but it's pretty emotional. So hang on to your seatbelts. It's called the Here's to You tribute. And it's from the bottom of our hearts, Tony. It really is. So I got the Welch Allen Choir here. We're going to go on 3, okay? Am I going too fast for any of you guys? All right, stay with me on it, will you? 1, 2, 3.
Here's to you, Tony Melaro, here's to you. Here's to you, Tony Melaro, here's to you. You may think you're upper class, but you're just a horse's ass. Here's to you, Tony Melaro, here's to you. Thank you, Tony.
Thanks a lot, fellas. You're fired. Thank you. Now, in my last few minutes here, I do want to tell you that the skits were a lot of fun. Tony's humor is a big part of his success, his creativity, his strangeness. But really, the key why Tony's here tonight and why his distributors have placed such trust in him through the years is because he's very disciplined. And the discipline that he brings, that he could write a book about, is follow-up. He is, if you've been called on by Tony, you know what I mean, if you've worked with him, he takes it to a huge level, follow-up. You know, when we get complaints through the years about one of our reps or so, and we get them now and then, it was never because the guy didn't know the products or his presentation skills weren't good or anything else, because he wasn't following up or she wasn't following up. Drove distributor reps crazy. Tony could write a book about follow-up. Tony deflects credit. This is a leadership skill that he has. He has made Welsh Allen and his distributors a lot of money. And he's done all right for himself as well. He never takes credit for, I've never seen him take credit for anything. He deflects it. He gives it to others. And he actually pretty much makes fun of himself. And he could take credit for a lot, but I've never seen him do it. He's also been a mentor, and here's what I mean. Large distributors in particular hire very talented young marketing people, well-educated. They come into these jobs, and they're smart, but they don't know their own companies yet, and they certainly don't know the industry. Scores of these young people through the years, because Tony's been around so long, he knows the business, have reached out to Tony, and he has spent time with them. He's helped them not just in the industry, he's helped them navigate their own companies, which he knows so well. You know, a lot of these folks became senior people in these distributorships or with other distributors, or even manufacturers, and they're beholden to Tony. It gave him tremendous leverage with his customers through the years. Finally, relationships. Like many people in this room, relationships come easy to Tony. He's at the huge 99.9% level with relationships. But what's interesting with Tony is it doesn't matter if you're a senior executive at a distributorship or a manufacturer, or if you're a bartender or a waitress or a cab driver. It doesn't make any difference. He develops relationships with everybody, and he develops them in the same way. And he treats everybody the same. So Tony, I have a little something for you tonight. Would you come up here for a second, please? There's a lot of folks back. You're killing me. There's a lot. There's a lot of folks back at Welsh Allen who want to be here tonight that couldn't. These are a lot of the sales support, customer service people back at the plant. They love you. And Terry and Leah very nicely put this together. And they probably can't see this in the back, but they're all standing on the factory floor and on some steps. And all of them have those goofy Dr. Ben glasses on, saluting companies. Congratulations, National Distribution Hall of Fame. I just got one message. I'll turn it over to Tony or to Scott, or who's ever running this meeting. So Tony, in conclusion, mi manchi tanto, sono venuti da lontano. Ti volo bene. No, that wasn't Yiddish. No. So what I meant in Italian was, I miss our travels. We used to travel very far and near. And I love you. I love you a lot. You great big bacala.
John, hell's only half full. And you're going there. Great night. I'll try to keep things moving. I'd like to begin by thanking Share Moving Media, Scotty and Pritch, and the fabulous team here for this prestigious award. And of course, again, the great job that this team does year in and year out to put together such a fantastic event. I'm truly honored and humbled to be inducted into the Medical Distribution Hall of Fame, joining all the past winners, many who are with us tonight. On my honor, I will do my best to uphold the covenants of the Constitution of the Medical Distribution Hall of Fame, and I hope that my comments tonight and all comments made in the future will not lead to a decision by the committee to have me removed from said Hall of Fame. I pray to God I'm not the first guy that gets kicked out of this Hall of Fame. I see that as a possibility. Congratulations to Dick and Mike, Victor and Matt. Well-deserved guys. And again, honored to be inducted into the hall with two of the best guys at what they do in our industry. Hats off, guys. Again, your attendance provides shared moving media with some very needed money to be donated to fish. Mike has spent countless hours helping fish and helping those in need. Thanks, Mike, for all you do. Fabulous volunteer work. It's phenomenal. Great job. So I grew up in a small town south of Buffalo, New York. My father was a life insurance salesman. And in those days, he would go door to door trying to convince the man of the house that they needed to spend money on a life insurance policy with a return on their investment. Chances are they personally would never see. My dad was a pretty funny guy. He liked to have fun, but he was pretty strict. He was a tough guy. My friends used to actually call him the warden. So I learned about discipline at a very early age. And all about coming to the game, so to speak, with a positive attitude and the will to succeed. He'd say, work hard, stay on task, but make sure you're having fun along the way. I had a younger sister growing up and an older brother, and I never knew my mother not to have a full-time job. She raised 3 kids, taking care of a middle child who was somewhat dysfunctional and marginally mentally challenged. And pretty much still is today. At the same time, working 40 hours a week. My mom went back to school to get her RN degree when she was in her 50s and worked as a hospital OR supervisor well into her 70s. My mom was tough. She was good. She was very dedicated. So much of my success and my personality was shaped by my parents' work ethic. A work ethic that, no question, was passed down through the generations. I was pretty tight with my grandparents, especially my grandfather. He was a blue-collar guy, wasn't college educated, but a salt of the earth, no nonsense, hard-working individual. And he too, I remember, could spin a funny tale, especially when he got into the booze. And I'll tell you, he wasn't afraid to have a couple of belts before going to work in the morning. It's pretty proud of grandfather. One of his legs was significantly shorter than the other. I swear to you, this is true. And he had some other physical ailments and issues because of it, so I guess alcohol seemed to help him get through his daily challenges. But I'll tell you what, he was dedicated to his job, and he was dedicated to every one of those kids on the school bus. My grandfather was always working. When he wasn't at his 40 hours a week job, he'd be at home fixing something. Inside the house, outside the house, or he'd be over at our place fixing something. And I really admired him and how hard he worked, and when I was little, I'd always want to be right by his side, trying to help any way I could. God rest his soul. I'll never forget his last words to me. Stop shaking the ladder. I'll do that. leg pretty bad. But 2 months later, he was over at our place, on the ladder again, putting up Christmas decorations. And I remember we had lights all over the place that year. We had regular lights, blinking lights, we had reindeer in the front yard, Santa on the roof. Decorations from the wheels to the roof. We were the envy of the trailer park that year. It was wonderful. Yeah, my grandfather actually died several years later, peacefully in his sleep. Scared the hell out of all the kids on the school bus, but died peacefully in his sleep.
Love you!
Those stories aren't entirely true. As God is my witness, though, I was not shaking the ladder that day. Just not true. But what is true is the fact that my mom, my dad, my grandparents, my family really taught me about hard work at an early age, showing up on time, putting in a full day of work with no excuses. They had a huge impact on me growing up and had a big role in shaping who I am today. My folks didn't have money to put me through college, none of us kids. So I was on my own. So I applied to a state school. John talked about it. I went to the State University of New York. Some people call it the Harvard of upstate New York. It was about 3 hours north of Syracuse, 20 miles from Canada, and it was cold. And I'm not kidding you. Every building, and this is true, was connected underground. So if you didn't want to go outside, you didn't have to. You didn't have to go outside. So there was no real excuses, not to go to class. So I'm really not sure what happened there, but this probably comes as no shock to most of you in the room here, but I wasn't very good at school. Had a few issues focusing in school. I easily get distracted by several of the social events in downtown Potsdam. 50 Cent was import night. On Mondays. Tuesdays was 25-cent drafts. Wednesday was drink and sing, $5 all you can drink. Thursdays was dollar pitchers. I swear to God, is that true? Right? And then it was a weekend, time to want to wind down. So you go to a beer bunch, right? The sorority and the frat would together put on 150K drinking extravaganza, pretty much all day long. Bands, dancing girls in cages, and all the boiled hot dogs you could eat. It was just fabulous. Potsdam Country Club, we used to call it. It was just wonderful. Today, that these week in and week out social activities probably has something to do with all of the C's and D's that took up most of the room on my report card for 4 years. It just wasn't Dean's List material. I see all my friends in the front row here from Welsh Allen. Got shocked. Gee, what a surprise. Well, believe it or not, I did graduate from the Potsdam State University in 1979 and was hired by Welsh Allen 5 months later. Paying my own way through college taught me about responsibility and managing money. Graduating in the lower third of my class at Potsdam, I knew that if I wanted to be successful, I really had to apply what I learned early in life. And then, very important to me, make sure to surround myself with people who had knowledge and experience in this industry. Surround myself with people who have knowledge and experience in this industry. People who I could immediately learn from. And I also needed to hone my listening skills. And I can see my wife over there shaking her head. Yeah, that worked out very well. So you see, folks, this award tonight isn't really about me, but more about many of the folks attending this event tonight. The influence that so many of you sitting out in the audience tonight have had on me. Tonight here in Chicago, right in this room, we have the who's who of this great industry. We're surrounded by knowledge and experience, people in this room who have paved the road to my success. With gratitude, I thank you for showing me the ropes. Your understanding, your patience, your advice, your leadership, your patience, your willingness to help me along the way. To the other Hall of Famers, those here tonight and those no longer with us, going back to George Blowers, one of the first inductees back in 2001, I thank you. All of these folks have had an impact on me in some way, shape, or form. There's no question about it. These people are the best of the best in our industry. You watch these folks at meetings, how they carry themselves, how they interact with with those around them. You can learn so much by just watching and listening. And what an impact each of these folks have had on our industry. It's unbelievable that this industry and the people in this industry. I'd love to name all of you, and I'd like to thank all of you in this room, but we don't have time. Yates, you still with us? You're in Chicago. Chicago, Illinois. 10:30, you take the yellow pill. Ryan Taylor and Bill Sparks, very successful in their own right, both managed me in the early days at Welsh Allen. Thank you guys. Thanks so much for teaching me what I needed to do to be successful. Why didn't the two of you try a little bit harder? A huge thank you to everyone at the Welsh Allen Company, those back in Skaneateles at our headquarters and those out on the road banging on doors, selling product to make the world a better place. Thank you for your support over the years. I'm on my 38th year at Welsh Allen, and I'm winding down my career with total retirement coming in January of 2019. For me, there was really never a reason to go anywhere else. The culture at Welsh Allen is one that I wish everyone in this room could experience. A genuine concern for the employee. You're not a number at Welsh Allen, but you're a person, and the Allens genuinely cared about you and your family. I've been on countless factory tours where Bill Allen would guide a handful of dealer reps through our Skaneateles facility. He loved it, was passionate about what we did, proud of the quality of the products we manufactured, and he knew just about everyone working down on the floor by their first name. We were a fourth generation company in business for 100 years. That's unheard of. A lot of pride. It all made me feel so good, so special. So lucky to be a part of such a company with such a fantastic history. To John Tierney, our leader, and to the Welsh Allen management team sitting here up front, without a doubt the best in the business. Keeping the Welsh Allen company humming at well over 100% year after year after year. I thank each and every one of you for making my experience at Welsh Allen second to none. Thanks to Alan Shader, our CEO at Welsh Allen, who in his short tenure at the helm has kept the ship full speed ahead, and for bringing the Welsh Allen team here to Chicago for this special event. Thank you very much. To my good friends at the Melaro family table, Jack, Chief, Jim, and Doug Lindquist, I can't thank you enough for coming to Chicago, to be a part of my special night, for all the fun times we've had over the years, and hopefully many more fun times to come. But your friendship is most important, and I don't take that for granted. To my sister-in-law, Bobby, and her husband, Bob, who came in from Cleveland. Why would you leave Cleveland? Thanks for coming, and I really hope that you had the opportunity to meet some of the greatest people in the greatest industry on the planet. Thanks for coming. To the Allen family for creating one of the greatest family-owned medical manufacturing companies 100 years strong. Some of the nicest people you will ever meet. I had my hip replaced in 2014, and Bill and Penny Allen offered me their guest house for 6 weeks to recuperate. I'll never be able to repay you or thank you for such a generous offer. Thought about sending you some free goods, but then I thought that probably wouldn't make sense. Thanks to you, Bill and Penny, to Lou and Don, and your entire family for all you've done for me over the years. To Ron Elder, who hired me, giving me the opportunity to work for a great company in a fantastic business, medical sales. I thank you, Lauren, wherever you might be. To my mentor, my straight man, our past leader, my good friend John Marine. I truly love you. We should do more camping together. never seen an individual work a room like John Moran. When he talks to you, he makes you feel like you're the most important person in the room. The same is true when he's talking to himself. I learned from John that technology and change are very overrated. But John, something tells me this World Wide Web thing is here to stay. It's a fact. And change? John hasn't changed his look in 4 years. Gray slacks, khaki pants, striped tie. There he is. Men's wear from the Costco collection. In all seriousness, John was the best at what he did as our sales leader back in the day. He never let things get to him. There was never an ego, and he always treated us fairly. He'd always say to us, don't worry about the little stuff. Get in front of the customer. Take care of the customer. It's really pretty simple. Show up, follow up, don't BS people, and be on time. Bombarding time. If you show up on time, you're 5 minutes late. My watch is always 5 minutes fast. Then one day, John Moran happened upon a yellow plaid checked polyester jacket. John, gravitating to the polyester material, thought first, I better put this cigarette out. Then thought, perhaps I should showcase this reversible yellow plaid West Virginia stitch jacket at the upcoming HIDA meeting. Then thought better of it. Instead, along with a pair of snappy glasses, we created a character called Dr. Ben Dover. We used the Dr. Ben character at distributor meetings, as John mentioned, to drive our point home, to dealer reps, using some very tired humor. I love you, Jeff. We used the character actually for over 20 years, changing the theme. We actually realized in the early years that we need to do something to differentiate ourselves from the other manufacturer presentations. And giving credit where credit is due, Midmark was the first company to really do some great creative stuff. They set the bar pretty high. We really had some good, clean fun with Dr. Ben over the years, but I guess it ran its course. The PC police caught up with us, and I don't know, maybe the Dr. Ben thing wasn't all it was cracked up to be. Who knows? Frankly, I'm kind of happy it's all behind me now. I still have a few VHS treasures hidden away in the basement, and one day my hope is to splice them all together and put on a Dr. Ben blast from the past party with an open bar, hot hors d'oeuvres, a band, girls dancing in cages, videos and pictures from past performance, and have a big laugh once again at a, of course, private off-campus facility. Bill and Penny, Allen, I hope you're in, and I hope you can come to the party. And I'm wondering if the guest house might be free sometime in January of 2019. John Moran, thank you for being such a great teacher, and most importantly, a very good friend. Thanks for showing me how to be successful and sharing 1.5 million laughs along the way. Unfortunately, the two of us are banned from a number of hotels, restaurants, and bars in various cities throughout the country because of your childish behavior. One Embassy Suites in Rosemont, Illinois, where you were caught by security throwing chunks of fruit from the 6th floor down on top of a defenseless homeless man sitting in the lobby, minding his own business. What the hell is wrong with you? We shared a lot of times together over the years, and there are 1 million stories, and as I mentioned, 1 million laughs. The two of us, we'd fly into a city early, and we would do a dry run to try to find the closest liquor store. I swear to you. So if we got done calling on customers, we'd know exactly where to go to get the liquor. We'd go back to our room, have a couple of shooters, eat some peanuts out of the vending machine. That was living. We always talked about creating a liquor store map for traveling salesmen just like us. Put that on that World Wide Web, www.liquorstoремap.com. Never got to it though. I'm sure you're still working on it. set you on fire. Remember that? Yeah, you were screwing around with me all day. Screw around, so you won't be around. That's a story for another day. I'll keep it moving. I'm fortunate to see John when I'm in Skaneateles, where he lives. When I'm up there for business meetings, we catch up on old times and share a few jars of Tito's Texas homemade vodka on his back porch. We have a lot of fun catching up. Unfortunately, on the last visit to Skaneateles, we were not able to get together because the Acorn stairlift was out of order that day, and his wife was out of town, and John was trapped upstairs for 6 days. A special thanks to all the veterans in this room and around the country who have allowed us all the freedoms that make our country so very special. Finally, last but not least, I thank my wonderful wife, Beth, my life caddy, my very best friend, the person who does all the heavy lifting in our relationship. You're the best. We've been married over 36 years, and there's no one that's been more supportive over the years than my wife, Beth. I know I'm a pain in the ass to live with. I'm always screwing something up. Act like a child 90% of the time, but heroin is not the answer. Thank you for always being by my side and having my back. I'd be totally lost without you. I love you more than you know. In closing, it's important for all of us to remember that life is real short. I lost my brother 10 years ago this March 26th. He was 50 years old when he died. We were 13 months apart. And it really makes you think. Try to enjoy every minute of every day. We oftentimes take so much of what we have for granted, not realizing we are blessed to have so much, live in such a wonderful, free country surrounded by great family and friends. Tell those that are close to you how important they are and how much they mean to you. Treat every day as if it was your last, because one day you will be right. The late North Carolina State basketball coach Jim Bovano said, laugh every day. It's good medicine. And pass it on if you can. For me, there's nothing better than having a conversation with someone or telling a story that brings a smile to that person's face, a smile that leads to a good laugh, better yet, a laugh that brings you to tears. I can only hope that over the years I was able to do just that. Make you smile, make you laugh. Most important to me are the friendships that I've built over the past 37 plus years in this industry. I will cherish those friendships forever. No one can take those friendships away, and my hope is to continue to work on those relationships to make them even stronger. I'm a better person today because of so many of you in this room. This award tonight is for you. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
My name is Mark Seitz. I'm here as Scott Adams' friend. Unfortunately, Share Moving Media, the lone representative, is probably moving Share in the men's room. On a serious note, Scotty, unfortunately, was taken ill with the stomach virus. One of that we're probably all familiar with it. So we're here to wrap up things just as his friends. And so I want to congratulate everybody. Let's read Tony's plaque. Brad Thompson.
So I want to say that I am from the great state of Tennessee. I'm part of the product of public education. We have a budget surplus and all the above. But anyway, I'm going to do my best to read through this for you. So, Tony Melaro served the nation's distributors on behalf of Welch Island for more than 2 decades. He earned their trust through conscientious follow-through and genuine concern for their success. Through his alter ego, Dr. Ben, he entertained and educated thousands of sales reps on Welch Island products. The son of a door-to-door salesman and a mother who, at age 50, became a registered nurse and who worked in her 70s as an OR supervisor. Unbelievable. Melaro made an indelible impression on others through his humor and goodwill. Congratulations, Tony.
thanks everyone for being here. This is a bit of a surprise, but after 12 years, I still consider myself a bit of an outsider. I've been to 12 of these, I do, and I want to tell you that for me, to see people that so genuinely appreciated the honor and so deserved it was really overwhelming for me, just from somebody that came from outside the industry, practiced law for 20 years, and then came here. What a great night this was. Unfortunately, Scotty can't wrap things up. The bar's open downstairs. Let's thank MDSI, and let's honor these fine gentlemen.